Finally, welcome back to the Dave Knows Comics live stream. I'm your host, David Lee, and welcome to the show. I know it's been a bit, but hope you are all happy and enjoying yourselves because it is time for choosing the perfect Spider-Man. Now, we did this a while back last year with Batman, so I figure why not do it for Spider-Man, especially with the big hype behind the big movie that just came out. Now, I don't intend to have any spoilers for the new movie, but I can't speak for the rest of the chat, so I'm just going to fair warn you right now that I don't have any indication of revealing anything about the new movie, so don't worry about that, but can't guarantee the chat won't, so I'm just going to give you a heads up here. But anyway, yeah, so I'm not looking to spoil anything from the new movie. This is going to have nothing to do with the movie. This is just choosing the perfect Spider-Man from the three movies or the prior movies that we've had, not including the movie that came out today. So it's just choosing it based off of that. That's it, nothing else. So so hopefully the rest of the chat, nobody's gonna spoil nothing. Everybody will be on their best behavior. But like I said, I can't guarantee that. But I am looking for a spoiler-free show. All right, so. Let's take a time out to say hello to the wonderful people in the chat. Yo, King Kaito, Brian Thatcher, hi. Mohammed, salam to you, peace to you. Thanks. You're welcome, Brian Thatcher. And NT says, yo, Dave finally returns to comics. Yeah, you're not going to call me the wrestling guy over here. Mohammed says, are you picking up my suggestion about Spidey Month? No, I would like to, but I just don't. I just, don't. I said it before, like on the wrestling channel. I have a harder time juggling the acts, but I appreciate the suggestion though. What's up, saw it yesterday? Not saying nothing. Gonna try our best. I've been worried, thankfully that we don't have that. I've been trying to avoid a lot, so. Spoiler wise, and I gotta say, I did not know anything going into it, so I did see it yesterday, but I am very happy and proud of myself that nothing was ruined for me. Although I will say, YouTube, the internet, they're really chomping at the bit. It's like they're not quite 100% spoiling things, but they're crouching. You can see they're doing it. Hey, Dakari, how you doing? Hope life has been treating you as well. I'm watching it out of principle until like 2 months past. Okay. Much appreciated. Yeah, so saw the movie yesterday. I liked it. Let's just call it that. So anyway, so the way this game works is simple. Especially now that YouTube has the polls in the live stream. So this is going to be a lot easier to do this time around than it was for Batman. So what I'm going to do is I have 5 distinct categories of Spider-Man. And again, we're judging this off of the movies that we have seen, not including the new one. Today, I'm going to be running polls. We're going to vote on this, and depending upon what you guys decide, we are going to pick the perfect Spider-Man from all the previous movies. All right, so I can't go to the theater because, I'm sorry to hear that. Hope you get better soon there. What's up to England? Immortal Remus. Was it the best Spider-Man movie of all time? I don't know. Whenever I just see something, I kind of wanted to sit and marinate before I make a decision on how weird ranks in the Pantheon. That's just how I am. Especially because the movie... What's one of the... Tom Netherlands. I think you meant Holland. Dave, I've barely been able to avoid spoilers since my YouTube... I know, the YouTube recommendations can be rough. Sometimes they just spill stuff, and it seems like a flat-out spoiler. One time, it could be rough, and especially then you're like, they ruined this for me. Well, I might as well click it now. And then you click it, and then you find out, that wasn't the spoiler. It was a speculation. And then you're like, I just ruined the movie for myself now. I have unsubscribed from channels because their thumbnail or their headliner have been too spoilery. Just straight up, I do believe there should be a time. I don't think we have a set time limit on when you can reveal spoilers, but YouTube just jumps the gun, especially with a lot of people who I don't get early access to things. So sometimes it's like before the movie comes out, it's like, I haven't seen it yet. But yeah, the recommendations sometimes can be rough to spoil things. Anyway, so So let's get involved in the game. So again, we're going to have 5 different categories. We're going to break them down bit by bit. You guys are going to vote. It's similar to what we did for Batman. Notably, Spider-Man has less room to play because, like with Batman, we had more fun with it because like there's a car, and the costume and all that. I worked it around a little differently for this one. But anyway, so yeah, we're gonna do this bit by bit. We're gonna have the voting, and it's gonna be a lot easier now that I have the polls. So let's just go ahead and get into the voting. We'll start there, and if anybody comes along later on, they'll hopefully be able to just participate where they can. So anyway, the first subject we have is going to be the love interest. Who is Spider-Man's best love interest? Okay, we're gonna get into that one right now. Boom! First candidate we have is MJ Michelle Jones from the MCU, played by Zendaya. She is the candidate number 1. We're going to be putting her over here. Oh, wait, hold on. So MJ, we're going to put MJ up for grabs. Next one is going to be the other MJ, Mary Jane Watson from the... Whoa, Muhammad, don't start spilling it. We're going to get the vote. You're going to get the vote. We're going to put the poll up. Just give it a second, okay? So, played by Kirsten Dunst in the Sam Raimi universe. Next up, we have Liz Allen from Homecoming, the MCU. Let's not forget about her, Liz Allen. Also, then we have Gwen Stacy from The Amazing Spider-Man, followed by the Sam Raimi Gwen Stacy. So, we're going to put each of these candidates up. We're going to let you decide which one you want to go on, and we'll go from there. So without further ado, let's go ahead and ask on the polls, best Spidey love interest. And so we're gonna go there. So yeah, little bit, as I said, we don't have all the stuff that we don't have all the stuff that Batman does, all the gadgets and stuff, but we have more. Spider-Man has more people, I will say. There's more like humans. So this is going to be more focused on the people in Spider-Man's life. That's going to be more focused on that. See, how many options can I add? I just realized that too. See, hopefully I can add one more. No, I can't. Oh no, can't add one more. Okay, all right, well, we'll break it down this way. We'll just do, okay. What? Didn't think this through as well as I should have. Okay, so we have 2 MJs, and we'll have a Liz. MCU. Okay, so there we go. We'll do these 3 now, and then we'll do the 2 Gwens, and then we'll have a showdown between both of them. So we're gonna do 5 minutes on the polls. So you know what? I'm gonna make this a little easier. We're gonna break it down to 3 minutes. We're gonna do 3 minutes on the polls, and then whatever you guys get is what you guys get. Okay, so. All right, so let's go ahead and read your comments while you guys get the voting. So Ryan Keefe says, Gwen Stacy from Amazing Spider-Man, I like because I got a huge crush on Emma Stone. I'm a Stone fan, okay. Doesn't Gwen from Spider-Man 3 even count? Because I feel like Peter barely knew her. Well, I'm just throwing her out there. Are these movie versions? Yes, movie versions specifically. Jakiva's, I already seen most of the spoilers for No Way Home, but still want to see the movie. Well, that's fine, but hopefully we're not spoiling anything for anybody. Our goal is not to spoil the movie. This will be more in order, which is a good thing. Okay, 5, I think, Dave. 5, what? Yes, these are movie versions, and valid point, Brian. Okay, so let's see. So far, all right, so as I said, we're going to do about 3 minutes, and then we're going to do the showdown between both Gwens, and then we'll have a one-on-one face-off between the winner of this poll and the Gwen poll. So right now, Michelle Jones is in the lead, 62% with Sam Raimi, Kirsten Dunst, Mary Jane in second. No one voting for Liz Allen, huh? Or Liz Toom, whatever her name is. Last name is, Liz Keaton. And by the way, for you guys that don't remember the Batman poll, when we did the Batman poll, The Keaton Tim Burton Batman just stole the show. He just won everything. Like the car to me is the biggest like no brainer. Like the car, best car is Keaton, the Tim Burton Keaton. Like that's easily not even a question. But then other things I thought were up for a little more debate. I was kind of surprised, but yeah, Keaton stole the show last time. So are we gonna get a clean sweep this time, or are we gonna get some variety? Am I gonna completely? Oh, am I gonna completely sip a boba completely past without chewing it? Almost. Really, MCU version. Really? Hey, look at me. Okay, so less than 1 minute to go in the poll. Please, if you haven't voted, vote already. I was like, as adult rewatching the movies, the Raimi MJ was just like, so I was like, I heard a lot of people weren't a fan of the Kirsten Dunst MJ. That's interesting. I also always found it funny that in the Raimi verse, you have Kirsten Dunst, who's a natural blonde, playing a redhead, and then you have Bryce Dallas Howard, who's a redhead playing a blonde. I found it funny that they just switched. Like, it's not a big deal, but I just found it funny. All right, so less than 1 minute to go on the poll. So, Michelle Jones from the MCU, Mary Jane from the Sam Raimi verse, or Liz. Not one vote for Liz. Wow. Best thing about this was the reveal of who her father was. Wow. You know, I put her here because I thought someone was going to vote for her. I didn't realize it was such a like one-sided. I didn't realize there was like nobody was going to vote for her. I mean, all right. So less than a minute to go. We're going to wrap this up shortly. Then we're going to have the battle of both Gwen Stacy's. Uh, and time. Okay, so let's see. Let's see. Hey, degenerate. Liz only got one movie, right? True. Yeah, I guess that has something to do with how many movies they were in. I guess that's a good point. Okay, so the winner with this one is Mary Jane Kirsten Dunst from the Sam Raimi universe. All right, she was the winner. Michelle Jones in the beginning was pretty strong, but then Mary Jane took it over. And I'll say this much. Personally, in the MCU, I actually prefer Liz to Michelle Jones as the character. That's just how I feel, but you know, to each their own. Okay, so next up, um, I'll tell you why in a minute. And don't worry. Stacy from and yeah, this one's gonna be a little tougher since it's the same character going. I mean, well, I guess last time we had the same character going against the same character from. All right, so Battle of the Gwen Stacy's. Which Gwen Stacy do you like better? Do you like the Emma Stone Gwen Stacy or the Bryce Dallas Howard Gwen Stacy? The reason, now, see, personally, in the comic books, I'm a bigger Gwen Stacy fan than Mary Jane. Out of all Spider-Man's love interests, I'm not like the biggest. I like Felicia Hardy more, or a lot personally speaking. But a lot of that was because in the cartoon, she was more modeled after Gwen Stacy. So I'm more of a Gwen Stacy fan, and the reason why is in the MCU, I would say that Liz Allen was more like Gwen Stacy. So that was so typically the more Gwen Stacy like a character is, the more I tend to be in favor of them. You know, if there just is Gwen Stacy, that just makes my life a lot easier. Mohammed, you don't have to tell us. You can just vote. Never got the chance to get to know MC. I mean, we didn't, but see, okay, like I'll put it this way. You know, we knew she was very smart, and I like that she was very. She recognized Peter more so. Like if MJ, Michelle, you know, I don't really know what to call her, but there, you know, if Michelle did, she was kind of playing coy with him. And I'm also going to point out that Peter knew both of them at the same time, and his crush was on Liz, and it just didn't work out. You know, I don't want to sound like, you know, I guess it's kind of cold to say, but I mean, MJ in the MCU is a runner-up. She's a second choice. You know, like, does anyone else look that way? Raimi Grew was mid. Sorry, not sorry. I don't know what that means. Okay, yeah, so 3 minutes to go. I mean, 2 minutes to go, sorry. 3 minutes, we're going to get in the vote, so 1 minute down, less than 2 minutes remaining. Jaquivas, I don't know what that means. Gwen Stacy fan, I have severely underestimated your taste in comic books characters. Well, thank you. Wait, hold up, Dave. Are you counting the Spider-Verse? I'm not counting the Spider-Verse. I'm doing live action only today. Yeah, I would definitely like it if they did Spider-Man. I also have no idea who voiced Gwen Stacy in the Spider-Verse, or Spider-Gwen, now that I think about it. I'm not even, yeah. I'm trying to think, other than Nicolas Cage, I'm trying to think if I know any other voice actors in Spider-Verse. And I like that movie a lot. Oh, wait, no, I did, because Chris Pine is one of them. Yeah. Really brought back Stacy to replace MJ as the lone interest. I mean, I don't necessarily need that. But for me personally, okay, so less than 1 minute to go. Wow, wow. Okay, so far Emma Stone is leading the pack with 100% of the votes. Nothing for Bryce Dallas Howard. Okay. Oh, it's Haley Steinfeld. Oh, no kidding. Really? Cool. Man, she's a very talented actress because had no idea. A famous pop star who is Kate Bishop. Sunny Girls Hawkeye. Wow. No kidding. Cool. Stacey is my girl, especially in Amazing Spider-Man. I love her witty personality that meshes with Peter. I feel like the Raimi shouldn't have wasted Gwen in the third movie, honestly. Well, I mean, come on. If we're, I mean, how many things are wrong with that third movie? Okay, so why stop there at this point in time? If we're voting every adaptation, I would have voted Spider-Man. Yeah. Okay. Let me put this up, by the way. So far, Zendaya is our... Wait, no, I'm sorry. No, she's not. I forgot. See, I got to keep better track of this. Mary Jane Watson from the Sam Raimi verse is so far in the lead. Let's see who she's going against. We have 3 minutes and poll. Not surprising. And poll ends, shall I say. We have Emma Stone. So right now, and I'm stuck in the middle, but then again, I shouldn't be complaining. So right now, amazing, I almost call her Amazing Spider-Gwen. Amazing Gwen Stacy from the Amazing Spider-Man movies is the winner, and Mary Jane Watson, Kirsten Dunst from the Sam Raimi verse is the winner in hers. So we're gonna have one last poll, 3 minutes. Please. I really wish there was a live-action Felicia Hardy. That way she could... I mean, I know there was supposed to be one, but I wish we had a live-action Black Cat. That way she could have been in the mix, too. Because, like I said, I really like Felicia Hardy as a character. Okay, so right... Alright, we're going to do... Stone... And I do agree that Emma Stone and Andrew Garfield's relationship felt more like a relationship. Like, I did understand, like, they did feel more like an actual couple. I mean, maybe... I was going to say, maybe the fact that they were one probably helped, but then again, I believe that Kirsten Dunst and Tobey Maguire were together, I think, at least for a little bit of time. Alright, so last poll, 3 minutes to go. Who's going to take it? We're going to see Emma Stone or Kirsten Dunst? Gwen Stacy versus Mary Jane. Doesn't it always come down to these two? Isn't that how it always works? So 3 minutes on the clock. Let's see. Get your votes in, gentlemen. Black Cat is just a ripoff of Catwoman. Prove me wrong. Well, actually, I would say it's quite the opposite. I have a video on this channel where I mentioned this. So there's a lot of characters that people think are a ripoff of one, but not the other. People kind of forget that Selena Kyle, when she was first introduced as Catwoman, she just wore a regular dress, and she was like a cat or like a more or not the Catwoman that we think of now. Where Black Cat, Felicia Hardy, was introduced in the 70s, she had a much darker origin, and the whole dynamic of Spider-Man being like romantically involved with a supervillain, they played that up more with that was more of a Spider-Man Black Cat thing. And then as time went on, they kind of adapted Selina Kyle to be more like that with Batman. So if you go back and look at it, it's actually if you actually look at the chronological time period of when, and it's not that there wasn't romantic flirtation between Batman and Catwoman beforehand, because there was, but a lot of the tropes and dynamics, the more in depth parts of it happened after Black Cat was around. So I would say it's the other way around. And either way, this is a tough call. I don't think either of them should end up together with either of them. But I think Black Cat is better for. Well, then again, it's tough because there's so many different characteristics of. There's so many different interpretations of Felicia Hardy, depending on which one you pick. Like the one from the 90s cartoon, I think is a better match for Peter Parker to actually have a relationship with than Selina Kyle and Batman. But then again, it depends on which version you pick. Stacey Ninian kidnapped 3 movies in a row. Oh, jeez. Alright, so less than a minute to go, 11 votes in. Let's see who wins, Gwen Stacy or Mary Jane Watson, Kirsten Dunst, Emma Stone. So far, Gwen Stacy in the lead, 73%. Dave just joined. Did you see Spider-Man No Way Home yet? I did, but we're trying very hard to not spoil anything for anyone who hasn't there, Owen, but thank you for asking. Nation Black Cat. Yeah, it was the 90s cartoon. Yeah, same here. And that's pretty much just because she was Gwen Stacy for most of the show until she became Black Cat, so yeah. I make no bones about it. That's 100% the reason why I like Felicia Hardy as much as I do. Because, like, as a kid too, when you read the comic books or you like started looking at the comic books, you're like, that's like not the same character like at all. Just saying MJ wants his speech. I didn't say that. He said that. Did it anyone feel weird to anyone that she was the one kid? Because I heard that in the original draft for Spider-Man 3, it was actually supposed to be Gwen Stacy that got kidnapped by Venom instead. Like, which would have made more sense because that Eddie Brock was like more involved with Gwen Stacy. So did anyone think it was weird that it was Mary Jane at the end? Whoa, Batman and Superman have more differences than Remus. What? Yeah, I can't see no one sadly. Yeah, well, I'm sorry to hear that, Brian, but don't worry. Like I said, I'm trying very hard to not spoil anything. Okay, and right there. Hey, yo, Harry Flynn, hope you got that vote in. I just clicked it off. So, let's see what we got here on the winners list. In the battle of both Gwen Stacy and Mary Jane Watson for who is Spider-Man's #1 love interest. Boom! With 66% of the vote. Wow. Started catching up at the end. But Gwen Stacy from Emma Stone, she is the winner. So Gwen Stacy, Emma Stone, she takes the lead on this one. So she's the first winner of our poll for the perfect Spider-Man from the movie. So, okay, so Gwen Stacy, first round winner. Alright, so next up, we're going to go with another category. So don't worry, you get the vote on this one. Real quick, let's catch up with the chat. Jakiva says the Black Cat and Spidey relationship works better as a will they won't they thing from me. I bet Venom and Brock told, yeah. I'm just saying, Dakari, it's just, I mean, yeah, you're right, that's a possibility. Gwen Stacy, to me, looks like Jason Todd as a character. See, I mean, I know that's what her legacy has become, but I really don't think that's fair, because I think there's more to her than that, and I think it's something that unfortunately has become what her thing is. I just think she has more value as a ninja. Thank you, Owen. I think she has more value as a character only because she's more Peter-like. She's more, she's more nerdy, or she does, she's smarter, she does better in school, where Mary Jane's more the party girl and has more fun. It's one of the reasons why readers at the time preferred Mary Jane to Gwen Stacy, because they thought that Mary Jane was more fun. But nonetheless, I think that Gwen and Peter have more in common. That's why I tend to root for them. Okay, so my phone is low on battery. Catch it with you later, guys. Okay, take it easy. All right, so next category. Villains. Who is the best villain? We'll be running the poll shortly. So, first candidate we have the Lizard from. Now, we're not going to do every villain in every Spider-Man movie. We're just breaking down the two major ones from each franchise. So, we're going to have the Lizard from the Amazing Spider-Man 1. We have Mysterio from Spider-Man Far From Home, the second outing in the MCU, or second solo outing in the MCU, followed by Homecoming's bad guy, the Vulture, and then Sam Raimi's Green Goblin, and then Jamie Foxx's Electro from Amazing 2, and Doc Ock from Sam Raimi 2. So those are going to be your options. We're going to have to break this down in sections, just like we did for love interest. Peter Parker's relationship is great. The new Spider-Man movie is amazing. Loved it. What you think, Dave? Thought it was very, very good. Spider-Man, the Blue Comic, spectacular. Okay, so really got me into Gwen Stacy's character. Oh yeah, Spider-Man Blue. Spider-Man Blue was great. I thought it was a very good, well received, very good book. Okay, so. Hey, yo, Harry Flynn. So we'll do first round. We'll do it's so funny because I write a lizard parentheses amazing, and it's like, oh, is he that amazing? So let's see who takes this one down. Mysterio, and then we'll do Vulture. Alright. 3 minutes on the clock, starting now. Okay, without spoilers, are we counting the version? We are only nothing from the current movie, the movie that just came out. Everything beforehand. We're Alright, Memorial Rima says the blueprint of Smallville could have easily been applied to Spider-Man live action series, with Gwen Stacy being the main love interest for the first 5 seasons before and getting could have, sure. Personally, the Smallville formula was, and I mean, like, let's be real here, the Smallville formula was in a lot of ways a ripoff of the Spidey Comics formula, but I've said it before, I'm like kind of like Smallville out, like the Smallville recipe to me was great for Smallville, but I don't want anyone to like copy it again. Smallville was very melodramatic. It had a lot of like, you know, the like that angsty stuff. It was cool for what it is, but personally, I mean, I don't need it revisited. I mean, maybe it's because I'm older and it's like I can't, and I find it harder to relate to younger characters at this point. I don't know, but you know, stuff. But things like that of that nature, I feel like Smallville was what it was, and that's it. You know, and we don't need people to try and copy it again, in my opinion. He's heavily in the promotion for the film, so it's you know. I'm just saying, I'm going out of my way to not have anything that can be construed as a spoiler. You know how sensitive people are. Who's going to be the villain for the third Raimi film? No one, because I'm only taking 2 movies from it. And besides, I don't think anyone was voting for Topher Grace on this one. And if you really were a Sandman fan, too bad. He was fantastic layered villain because I think of him in ways that he respected Peter by the end. That is interesting. Smallville TV formula makes the most sense with Spidey, more so than Superman. Oh, I agree with that, yeah. Okay, so less than 1 minute to go. So far, MCU Vulture is leading the pack. Now, as I expected, nobody is voting for Lizard. This one I kind of expected. I'm kind of shocked that Mysterio got a vote or two or whatever. Um, but yeah, I mean, I do agree with you more, Remus, that the whole like love triangle thing is more Spidey like because you know Superman's never been like that. His like hometown, his high school sweetheart was Lana, and then he moves to the big city, and then he marries Lois, or he should be marrying Lois. That's just how it goes. Like, there's really no reason to have a whole love triangle thing. I mean, it was, and then they threw in Chloe, who they created just for the show. Um, yeah, it's never been like Superman's MO, but meanwhile, it was a major part of Spider-Man comic books for a very long time. So yeah, it's kind of interesting. All right, so time. I like the lizard, but it was just kind of there for me. See, I didn't really like the Amazing Spider-Man series, either of the movies. Like, I know, like, a lot of people don't like the second one, but I didn't really even care for the first one, so. Going to see the movies again tomorrow after school with friends. Really loved it. Cool, Owen. Wish I could stay a wrestling man, but has some business to handle. Seriously, though, post more here. Thank you. I'll try. And promise nothing. NCU was a Mysterio's better. Oh, well, I guess we know who voted for Mysterio. Okay, so the votes are in. Vulture wins the first round by the best Spider-Man villain. All right, so let's go to round two. Why stand on ceremony? Let's go. Villain round round two. All right, Electro, Amazing 2. I find it funny that I have nothing else to call the Sam Raimi. Oh, shoot. Oh, man. Hold on. I pressed enter early. I didn't mean to do that. Wait, and pull. Sorry. Also, Superman 1 was always my dream matchup. Yeah, there's a precedence for that, but personally, I've never been. That's not the one I root for personally. Let's try this again. Yeah. Losing 2. I find it funny, yeah, as I was saying, I find it funny I have nothing else to call the Sam Raimi verse other than, like, the Raimi verse. Like, I can't say MCU or something like that. I have... Like, I find it weird I'm just saying the directors. Like, he's the only director who's getting called out by name. Which, you know, good for him and all. Okay, next up... You got Goblin. Yeah, I know. Yeah, I pressed enter by accident. Like, I didn't forget. I just didn't get a chance to type them because I pressed enter accidentally. All right. So here we go. 3 minutes on the clock. Best Spider-Man villain round 2. Electro, Dr. Octopus, Green Goblin. Cool. You got. So far, you got 1 vote. You guys not chomping at the bit yet? Who you're gonna go with on this one? Now, I will say this much: I know the character gets a lot of flack for it, and I don't like the movie, but I did like Jamie Foxx in the role of Electro, and I don't mind the blue. Like, I know a lot of people were complaining about the blue, and I was like, I thought he looked fine. But you know, that's just me. All right, so this poll is going back and forth pretty good so far. Dave, you really want Electro to lose? Well, he wasn't gonna win anyway. The bad guys from The Amazing Spider-Man had no chance in this. I know it. As an 8-year-old in 2002, Green Goblin was terrifying. Yeah, yeah, I can see that. I mean, I would say Willem Dafoe is a very good actor, so he's very good at playing a villain. Old Man Dave on the Comics Channel really thought your old age made you forget your password. I love how over the top Green Goblin is in Spider-Man 1. How it works. See, for me, the over the topness was one of my least favorite aspects of that character. Personally, yeah, if I was voting right now, which I'm not, but if I was voting, it'd be Doc Ock. For the whole thing, both rounds. Doc Ock was my favorite. Not only is he just my favorite Spider-Man villain, like is he like he's the arch enemy to me. Like, and I also think your age has something to do with it because I think older fans do think of Norman, but I think of Doctor Octopus as his arch nemesis, where a lot of people who are younger, think of Venom. But not only that, I like the movie part where he had that mentor relationship, yeah, which is more reserved for the lizard. But I thought him and Peter's relationship really was very good, especially with his wife and all that. What happened to her, everything worked. So I really think so Doctor Octopus is easily my vote. Less than a minute to go. Looks like mostly everyone's voting. Let's see. Well, I do like Doc Ock. Goblin to me has impacted me a bit more. I don't know how. That mirror scene in the first movie gave me a nightmare. Well, I'm sorry to hear that. I was 6 years old when I saw Spider-Man 1, so him being over the top made the fun easier. Hey, no, I totally understand that. No one thinks of Rhino as Spider-Man nemesis. Yes, that's true. No one. People are more likely to think of the wrestler Rhino. The Rhino is just like a thug. He's not a main bad guy. He's not supposed to be either. Hi there, True Sinister. I don't think he's supposed to be anyway. Doc Ock should be Spider-Man's archenemy in 616. Yeah, like I said, to me, that's who he is. Okay, time on the poll. And not surprisingly, Green Goblin has won. So now we're going to go to the finals. We're going to go for the final round. This one's going to be interesting. So let's go ahead and do it. Final round. So, who we got? You got the Vulture from the MCU, and then we got the Green Goblin from the Sam Raimi universe. Alright. Dave, what's your favorite movie from the Sam Raimi trilogy? Oh, Spider-Man 2, easily. Not even a question. Yeah, sometimes Rhino is an Alan Spider-Man. Rhino is arguably the greatest payoff I've ever seen. Well, we're not spoiling the movie, but thank you for contributing your opinion. But yeah, we're not spoiling the movie. Rhino was the first Spider-Man villain I ever saw when I played the old Spider-Man internet game and got stuck on him, constantly beating me. Well, be better at video games, Base. Now, if Rhino from wrestling was Rhino in Spider-Man movies, I would laugh. Well, what if Sandman from ECW was Sandman in the movie? Alright, so 3 minutes on the clock. Let's see. 9 votes in. Wow. Should I shorten this to 2 minutes? Because you guys seem to get your voting in relatively easily. So, alright. Less than 2 minutes remaining. Greatest payoff I've ever seen for a project in my life. Well, that's cool. It seems like you enjoy it. Yeah, so 2 minutes to go. Let's see how this fares. We have, and here's the other part too. I thought Michael Keaton would have been really cool if he was Norman Osborn. I think of Shocker and Rhino as roles like Luke Cage and Iron Fist as a cool team. Yeah, well, because of the Spectacular Spider-Man, I do think of Rhino and Sandman as a team too. Is Bonesaw a real comic book character? No. The irony is, in the original comic book, the wrestler that Spider-Man fought was named Crusher Hogan. So it's funny that he fought a Hogan and Macho. So I just find that interesting. Vulture I like, but Goblin was just pure evil. So as a villain, he wins to me. Okay, all right. Okay, to me, Green Goblin, Spider-Man's arch enemy. I don't care what Dan Slott thinks. See, big can't wrestle, can't play games. Yeah, can't get a date. Yeah, I really like the Vulture, but I see him more sympathetically. Okay. Some would argue that might be why he gets the win. Okay, so less than a minute to go. So far, Green Goblin has 90% of the vote. Tremendous lead. I don't know. Let's see what's going to happen in this last couple of seconds. Goblin's pretty much like Ryan said, completely sinister. Why they could have some amounts of money off of Bonesaw merchandise after Spider-Man 1 came out. I don't know, Base. Why don't you get on that? John Clever from Smallville could have made a great Norman Osborn. Well, yeah, but again, that goes in the same thing of the same people playing the same things and everything. It's like, hey, we saw him play a character that's similar. Let's just get him to play the same character again. Or like a very similar character again. I mean, sure, but, to me, well, why just keep, okay, and time. Why keep using the same guys for everything? There are plenty of actors out there. We don't need to start looking at the same characters for everything. And, I said the same thing about Michael Keaton as Vulture in the first place. I was like, dude was already Batman. Oh, it's like Spider-Man's Joker. Okay, so the winner for the final round is, not surprisingly, the Green Goblin. So, Green Goblin, you're over here on the winner's side, joining Gwen Stacy. Joining Gwen Stacy from The Amazing Spider-Man 2. Alright, so that's the villain portion. Let's move on to the next topic, our next category. This one's going to be a bit easier. We're not going to need 2 rounds on this one. Aunt May. Do we have Marissa Tomei, or do we have Sally Field, or Rosemary Harris? Those are going to be your 3 options for which Aunt May that you have, and we're just going to go for that one. Aunt May. Do it. And I will apologize in advance if my spelling is wrong for any of them. And add option. Okay, so this one's going to be more straight up. Do you like New Goblin from Spider-Man 3? No. Does anyone? What's his face? I don't remember that actor's name. But yeah, in Spider-Man 2. The Vulture was a great villain, but Green Goblin was my favorite. That's cool. I think Doc Ock is Spider-Man's true enemy too, Dave. Yeah, see? I think that's fair. Okay, so far we got 5 votes in just now, 3 minutes, less than 3 minutes ago. Rosemary Harris in the lead with Marissa Tomei close behind, 5 votes in. Who you got? I think this is going to be a tighter race. And I do think that Sally Field might get a chance in this one. I don't think it's completely... I mean, she hasn't gotten a vote yet, but I don't think it's completely out of the question. Any takers? 2 minutes left. Alright, so far Rosemary Harris is in the lead. Delicious looking beverage. That is a boba tea. Alright. Alright, still no vote for Sally Field. Okay. I stand corrected. Dave, but I did have some time travel and shown base live stream where I called him the worst wrestler of the year, and that made him bad at Spider-Man internet games. Oh, now I know. New Goblin started Spider-Man off the 3. Good. Yeah, the beginning was good with New Goblin. And then once he got Amnesia, it was over. Amnesia to me is one of those... Amnesia is one of those things that's like too soap opera for me. Like, while melodramatics is... I have a whole video on the wrestling channel about how melodramatics are good. Certain things, it's like, this is too far. And one of them is definitely Amnesia. The other one is Identical Twins. It was actually the Identical Twin all the time. Like, these things scream like soap opera tropes that are just too much. Alright, less than a minute to go. Rosemary Harris still in the lead with 67%. That's how I see Aunt May. Hey, King Kaido, me too. I feel bad because that's what I'm saying. Sally Field Aunt May was pretty good. Like, I thought somebody would vote for her. Nope. But we don't have everybody's vote yet. Okay, and time. By the way, I would not recommend No Way Home as a starting point for anyone. I don't. Yeah, I don't think anyone was going to use this one. I feel like Rosemary Harris was it just closer comic books version. Yeah, that's not a good question to me. So okay, not surprisingly, the winner is Rosemary Harris as everybody's favorite Aunt May. All right, so let's move on for that one. Next up, yeah, again, I was not really surprised by this at all. Um, Now, this is going to be a tougher one because we have a couple of options here. But we're going to go with. This is going to be tough. But now it's time for the next category is what do you think is the best costume? So this is tough only because we have a couple of options, but this is how we're going to go down. So we have now this is main costume only. We're not counting specialty costumes or secondary costumes. And what makes it difficult is that Spider-Man in the MCU has had multiple, like the multiple costumes has been a big part of his character. Um, but I'm going with just straight up main costume and I'm gonna call that the main costume is the one that he got in Civil War. He also wore in Homecoming. Um, so we're just gonna go with this one. The next is the Sam Raimi costume, and followed by the Amazing Spider-Man 2 costume. So yeah, I'm not counting the MCU Iron Spidey costume or anything like that. I'm just trying to go with the more traditional look. That's what makes this a little harder. And I wasn't going with the Amazing Spider-Man 2, not the first one. The first one's not an option. I personally did not care for that first one at all. But so that's what we're going for. So yeah, as I said, I know this is kind of up for a debate, but I decided to do it this way. Or and two. Okay, so 3 minutes on the clock, starting now. I still say Spider-Man 3 should have been Harry versus Peter. Yeah, yeah. I mean, I think you could have introduced the black suit in Spider-Man 3, but you shouldn't have introduced Venom. I like maybe Eddie Brock, and I would prefer more of the traditional 616 Eddie Brock instead of the like ultimate one where it was like Topher Grace. Personally speaking. Um, right. So let's go for the voting. All right, less than 3 minutes remaining. So far, looks to be a pretty tight contest. I'm going to spend Christmas Eve doing a Spider-Man movie marathon to get ready. Oh, that's cool. Very cool. Very cool, Brian Thatcher. Um, all right, so this might be the toughest race we have yet. I also didn't decide to count all of his MCU costumes because I think sometimes it's a little unfair. Like if we counted the MCU Iron Spidey costume, like that thing's designed to go into space for crying out loud. I mean, that's just cheating at this point. Yeah, and I'm aware that the Civil War costume actually does have a lot of upgrades too, but still. I don't give Amazing Spider-Man 2 a lot of praise, but I really do like the Spidey's outfit on that one. I want the old school original shades of blue Spider-Man costume in live action. That shade alone does so much for me. Oh, that's cool. Um, Raimi suit to me wins because a lot of people, especially my age. Okay, see, I like the MCU Civil War costume. That's my favorite specifically because of the fact that the eyes move. That wins. Like that makes it the winner for me. Yeah, the costume. Yeah, so the MCU Spider-Man, that costume went just because of that alone. If it was available in this, yeah. Well, we're sticking to just the live action movies. By the way, Dave, sorry to hear that, True Sinister. I really am. Hope you're doing okay. Um, you noticed the AI was named Karen in Homecoming? I did. I think that was before Karen became like a thing. Uh, if the Iron Spider suit was an option, I'd vote for that all day. As I said, it's a bit unfair. Less than 1 minute to go. Um, who do we got? I think this is we got some room to play. Oh, time. Never mind. And the winner is unsurprisingly, well, no, I should say surprisingly, Sam Raimi Costume. I really didn't know it was going to be this. I actually thought there was going to be more of a chance on the other way around, but the Sam Raimi Costume won pretty thoroughly on this one. Well, I mean, won by, okay, maybe not that thoroughly, but won by 8%. But anyway, yeah. So, Sam Raimi Costume. And, okay, so last category, and this is the big one we're going to have. This is going to be an easier one, just one round. The Spider-Man, the guy now. I think he's been for a while. Um, but that wasn't an option. Okay, actually, the Far From Home suit with the red and black, I like more than. Yeah, I considered putting that in there, but I'm like, that's so similar. I love all these suits. If I had to only pick one of them, I was going with the Amazing Spider-Man suit. Okay, well, last category, actor. Who do we got? Tobey Maguire, Tom Holland, Andrew Garfield. These are going to be actions. This is our last category. Best actor. And again, apologize for any spelling errors I might have. And go ahead. 3 minutes on the clock. Make your vote. This will be our last category. Actually, the Far From Home. So right, I have a love for the suits, but if I had to pick only one of them, I'm going with the Amazing Spider-Man outfit. All right. Okay, get your votes in. This is the last one. Dave, don't make me do it. Don't make me choose Tom over Toby. I'm not making you do anything. You could throw your vote away and pick Andrew Garfield if you want. I don't know. Maybe he'll win. It's actually the hardest one to vote on because all three. Yeah. Yep. Save the big one for last. The Danny Elfman score from Raimi Trilogy will always be my favorite scores. Well, it's the only one I can think of off the top of my head, so I kind of forgot. So I mean, I guess that's my answer too. You think of Spider-Man? It's a tough question. It's a tough question. Oh, well, look, somebody voted for Andrew Garfield. Um, let's see. How much time we got left? Okay, less than 2 minutes. Less than 2 minutes. Last vote. Get your vote in now. I voted Tom Holland, but it didn't feel right. Well, still got time. I went with my gut. You chose Toby. It is a tough call between the two of them, isn't it? Like I said, I'm not the biggest. I was never the biggest fan of the Amazing Spider-Man series. It was too dark for me. Like I like more of an upbeat Spider-Man. So that was always my. It was too dark and gritty, which is fine for like Batman, but for Spider-Man, I think it should be a little more fun. I love all the characters in different ways, but I got Toby at times, felt his pain in every move I saw from him. Yeah, I always thought that Andrew was a raw deal as Spider-Man. He was just pretty good. He was just in a Doom series. I can agree with that. I always thought that Tobey Maguire was too serious in Spider-Man, especially with the low number of quips. he definitely had a low number of quits, but when I look at it, none of them really quip all that much. Harry pointed out on the wrestling channel, the most quipping we probably got was out of Tom Holland in the ATM scene, and he doesn't do it, but he still doesn't do it that much. All right, less than a minute to go. Get your vote in now. I don't know. I picked Toby because he was the first Spider-Man I ever saw, including cartoons, really, and comic books at the same time. I got into Spider-Man, so it made me fall asleep in the cinema. Oh, yeah. In a lot of ways, Andrew Garfield suffered from the crime of not being Tobey Maguire. Alan was a kid playing Spidey. Toby wasn't. That's fair. All right, and time. All right, folks. So your winners are set. Your favorite love interest is none other than Gwen Stacy from the Amazing Spider-Man 2. Your favorite villain, your perfect Spider-Man villain, is Green Goblin from the Sam Raimi Spider-Man universe. Then your favorite Aunt May is Aunt May Rosemary Harris from the from the Sam Raimi universe. Just make a few adjustments so they can all fit on screen. Sorry, bear with me on this one. Bear with me. Let's see if I can get all the winners on screen at the same time. That's the goal. That's the goal. I know I'm dragging this out needlessly at this point. Okay, let's just move on. Costume. Favorite costume. You guys have decided that your favorite costume is the Sam Raimi Spider-Man costume. Yeah, let's look at that. And finally, your favorite actor for Spider-Man is none other than Tobey Maguire. The Sam Raimi universe takes down another one. So that's your favorite actor. So let's just break it down. The perfect Spider-Man from all of your votes has been casted. We have Tobey Maguire as your favorite Spider-Man. We have the Sam Raimi universe Spider-Man costume as your favorite Spider-Man costume. You have Rosemary Harris as your favorite Aunt May, Green Goblin as your favorite villain, and we have Emma Stone's Gwen Stacy as your favorite love interest for Spider-Man. Well, there you go. So hope everybody had fun with this game. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Personally, if you're curious what I think, Raimiverse really did sweep this one, with the exception of Emma Stone, and it was close because Kirsten Dunst almost took it. So, for me, I would have taken Tobey Maguire. I would have taken the MCU costume. Rosemary Harris, yes. Doc Ock from the Raimiverse I was taking, and then I would have. Actually, I don't know. Love interest. I might have went with Gwen Stacy from Amazing Spider. So really, the MCU got nothing. I just realized that MCU didn't win anything. Surprising. I might have went. The love interest is a tougher one. Yeah, I might have went with. I might have went with Emma Stone. That's probably what I would say. So in the Dave Knows universe, the Raimiverse, Spider-Man is superior. Hey, this the same thing with that Batman. When we did this for Batman, the Keaton Tim Burton one just swept. It won everything. Like, at least Amazing Spider-Man beat the MCU, which I don't think any of us saw coming. So it feels like there has been many Sam Raimi nostalgia goggles on here today. It was the same thing with Batman. And here, the funny thing was, I thought the MCU was going to be more. I thought the MCU was going to be a little more dominant because it's so popular and fresh, but evidently not. So, but yeah. Well, there you guys have it. Your favorite perfect Spider-Man is chosen by you. So thank you so much for participating in today's chat. I hope you had a good time. thank you so much for being here. And please, if you haven't subscribed yet, do so. And as always, Dave knows.